Hey guys, Alpha Frame here. Doing a bit of an analysis video today of my Dark Warzone video of Watanabe, and pretty much so I can provide insight, or maybe you guys can see what's going on through my head while I do these war zones, and maybe point out some things that are maybe not too obvious. And yeah, without further ado, let's go. Okay, so right off the bat, this is actually a mistake that I made. So usually in the first wave, I'll activate a 3 ping, and then I will use his core passive, because I find it extremely wasteful to use core passive in such an easy wave that I could have killed off with regular attacks. But as you can see in this next wave, it kind of played off to my advantage since they kind of died really quickly anyway, although 90% of the time this never really happens, and I have to save the core passive. As you can see for this wave, I planned it really well. As soon as this one spawned, I saved core passive for it. It's just things like this that make a huge difference, especially once you add it up over throughout this 2-minute round. As you can see here, I'm actually stalling on using Karen's QTE because I want to run over there with Kamui. And then, so pretty much noting that you can delay your QTEs for a more optimal time to use is a pretty big factor here in Warzone. As you can see, that's playing to my advantage right here. I grouped them together really nicely. And you can see before this Matrix, I pulled off a core passive because I knew the moment I go to Matrix, I do not want to use the red orb, and that'd be really wasteful. So by doing that, by pulling that off extremely quickly, and then canceling it into an evade, I was able to get into a Matrix. And now that benefits me because the better orb optimization I have with Watanabe, since especially because I'm running a Kadi build, I get to ultimate faster. So that is another plus of using Kadi. As you can see, I delayed that QTE all the way to the next wave. I didn't even want to use it until this wave. So just knowing these little factors, not wasting QTE is a big game changer here in Warzone. Matrixing as much as possible. If you can see what I just did between wave 6 and 7, I actually canceled core passive into ultimate so I can just make the most of my time and get into that animation as quick as possible. Another thing to note is that right after core passive, I believe, please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I believe while this bar is up on the bottom, I have a 20% damage buff. So it's also very good to ultimate right after core passive because you get this damage boost on top of any QTEs that you may have off cooldown. Right now, I'm just kind of building orbs up and then trying to get to the next wave. Watanabe had nothing, so that's why I switched to Kamui. He's very good for like a single burst. So that's really it. I try to avoid using Karen. I think this was a mistake. So I switched back to Watanabe immediately, pull off his passive. Even though I didn't have Da Vinci, I kind of knew that they would die. That's why I used ulti there. So the thing about playing Watanabe is all about speed, knowing when to Matrix, knowing when to go, and never wasting a second. It's more prevalent on him than any of my other characters, I feel. Yeah, right now I'm just trying to work my way to wave 11 real quick. As you can see, I was just trying to get out any DPS as fast as possible. I should have actually ultimated a little quicker there, as you can see. Let me see if I can go to the playback for you guys. Okay, right here. You can see I Matrix, and then I'm going to press yellow orb. I shouldn't have waited for this part of the animation to come. As soon as I saw that, I should have just ultimated, so I could have made the most of my damage. Yeah, that's a pretty big mistake there, but hey, still very far. Pretty very far. Yeah. Yeah, that's really it. That's how I achieved this on top. Well, of course, you know, he's triple S plus and all that good stuff, but that's an expectation. I'm a whale, you know? So, I hope this video was pretty helpful for you guys. Okay, I almost forgot. I wanted to go over the builds, because I have a bit of an updated insight. Nothing's really changed much for Karenina and Kamui, but I'll go over them anyway. I'm going to start with Watanabe, though. So as you guys may know, I'm running 4 Bathlon and 2 Kadi because I want to ultimate spam, and some notes that I have that are my updated insights. So by having ultimate spam, you are less reliant on red orbs, so less RNG reliant on killing these waves, and then it just makes life a lot easier. Because have you ever played Watanabe and you're just waiting for a freaking red orb for you to unleash hell on your enemies, right? So by having Kadi, you're not as reliant on it, and you can even gauge in your head or like by your own orb usage on how close are you to getting your ulti. And sometimes you don't want to waste the core passive, but you'll be happy wasting an ultimate because you know it can carry over to the next wave. So by doing that, it makes life a lot easier. It makes your war zones run quicker, as in like you don't have to maul as much, you don't have to grind it as much. But I think Darwin is more effective in the grand scheme of things, because if you do get the right orbs and you are playing efficiently, every single 3 ping you do is going to increase your damage. And on top of that, like think about that over a 2-minute period of just being very optimal with your orbs and 3 pinging, going in core passive, and not to mention if you're like a triple S plus Watanabe, you get a 20% damage boost every single time you use core passive, right? So if you're sitting there using ultimate during that, it's not as effective as just keep going for core passives and just keeping that stuff up at all times. That's my insight on it. The thing is, with my build, since I run a sub DPS as Kamui, I'm able to go into him as well. So on top of the Kadi that I'm using in ultimate spamming on Watanabe, I have the opportunity to switch into Kamui and save Watanabe some orbs, or at least give him downtime so he can get orbs from the switch in that's next. And then I'll maybe clear just 1 wave with Kamui, 1.5 waves, and switch back to Watanabe. I don't find this as effective in a more free-to-play or less lower spender kind of perspective, because if you're a lower spender, let's think about it. I would recommend probably a Darwin set, and I probably, you know, have maybe a couple good rezos, right? And Watanabe is so powerful that once you take him off the field, if you're just trying to use your average Kamui or your average Karen as a sub DPS, you're gonna see a huge decline in your Warzone damage. I find it personally more effective to run like a double Da Vinci set on your tank and Karen. So like Kamui and Karen, I'd probably put them up on a double Da Vinci set, and both of them running you know, the 2-piece debuffs, Einstein and Gloria. And the reason being is because Watanabe will be most effective on the field. Well, you want him 100% of the time on the field at that point, because he's the one that's carrying your whole team. I guess this is what I'm trying to say, is that if you're a whale account, you have more options, you have more advantage, and I guess less RNG reliancy in your Warzone. Sorry about the ramble, but it's just something that is really, really notable. I feel like this isn't common knowledge, and by being able to have a double Da Vinci set and being able to juggle those 8-second QTEs whenever you need, and having this really strong beefy unit on the field, it's gonna really help you build up your Warzone scores. This is kind of the concept I even follow on my free-to-play account with my alpha, but I digress. So if you guys want to talk about it, feel free to join my Discord. But yeah, I hope that brought some insight for you guys. And for the weapons for all these guys, it's all 6 stars, you know, triple rezo. But you know, you don't need it. You don't need it. You can 5 stars will do. But yeah, thanks for listening to my ramble, guys. I hope I provided some good info for you guys. Thank you.